Hey guys, and thank you very much for watching. So today on the chopping block is a game that people might have heard about in obscure game lists, and if I were to make a list like that, this would definitely be on there. But I feel not a lot of people have actually played it. I'm of course talking about Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, and look at that title. It tells you pretty much the entire premise of the game right there. You're a phantom who needs to be a detective while performing a bunch of ghost tricks. 10 out of 10 title. Oh, it's good. Oh, it's perfect. So, let's go through the basic premise of the game. You wake up after being unconscious for a while. A woman is being held at gunpoint, and you're lying there in between them, dead as a doorknob. Just as you're resigning to the idea of being dead and unable to do anything, you're being called out to. You need to save her. Apparently, you have the powers of the dead, and after a little bit of a tutorial, you learn how to control your powers. You can manipulate certain inanimate objects, and you can use that power to save the woman's life. Ah, there we go. Good job. Okay. I guess we didn't save her after all. Luckily, it seems we have a time-based power as well. Seems we can travel into the past and interact with the last 4 minutes of a person's life. These two powers, rewinding time and manipulating objects, are the tools you need to find out what happened and who you used to be.
Wait, who you used to be?
Yep, that's right. You've got amnesia in this game. Main character can't remember a thing, and the plot has more twists and turns than a twisty-turny thing.
Didn't you say you hated that kind of stuff in the Zelda video?
Yeah, but in Zelda, the structure was such that the amnesia wasn't that twisty, whereas in Ghost Trick, finding out who you are and all that is the entire point of the story. I mean, it's not exactly like, let's take for instance Final Fantasy IX, where the amnesia angle happens at the end of the game but isn't exactly a focus throughout the 79 other hours of gameplay. In Ghost Trick, that's the entire game, and it does it so well. Intertwined with your story to find out who you are a bunch of crazy characters who all have their quirks, like a dancing detective, the previously mentioned woman who died, the cutest Pomeranian ever, a death row prisoner, and a minister with furrows in his brows so deep that fucking Adele would be rolling in it. And then you have Memory here. She is sort of an odd girl.
I agree.
Me too.
Me free.
Whoa, 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 who the hell are you guys? I mean, of course I know who you are, Fox, and of course you too, Taco, but who the hell is this guy?
It's me, Connor from Seafoam.
You know what? I don't really care. You guys are making this look like a furry convention. Get out of here.
Okay.
Where was I? Oh yeah, these characters are so incredibly well written, which is actually no surprise considering the writer for this game is Shu Takumi, which some of you may recognize as the guy behind the Phoenix Wright/Ace Attorney series, a franchise that is known for its clever writing. In fact, some people look like they might be references to the Ace Attorney series. I mean, look at this guy. Wait, let me fix his face. There we go, now he looks more familiar. What makes this game so much fun and so unique is the gameplay. I mean, we've seen bits and pieces of the same idea in other games like Remember Me, but rewinding time 4 minutes to see how a person died is an incredibly cool mechanic that allows for some pretty shocking moments that serves to deepen the mystery. The entire focus of the game is to find your forgotten past, and the mechanics of the game perfectly blends together with this, since the last 4 minutes of a person's life can reveal a lot of hidden information. That being said, while you do have powers of the dead, you're actually pretty helpless, all things considered. You can only move a short distance between objects with a core, and you can't actually manipulate everything. This makes it so that you have to find the right path throughout each encounter and manipulate stuff before time runs out. Because oh yes, time can run out. There's actually a cool sense of timing to a lot of these segments where you have to find the correct path at the correct time, or do the correct kind of manipulations at the right time before you lose your chance and have no way out. If that happens, you might have to wait out the remaining time, frantically searching for something you can manipulate in the last minute. Or, if you actually did lose your chance, you could always rewind time back to the beginning, or to one of the checkpoints the game gives you after solving parts of the segments. This structure actually makes Ghost Trick's gameplay segments more into puzzle segments, which I find very cool. It's kind of like Phoenix Wright is part visual novel, part courtroom puzzle, and part point and click. This game is part visual novel and part puzzle, with an emphasis on the mysterious and crazy government conspiracies and the like. And due to the timing aspect of the puzzles, it can make for some really high tension moments, especially when you're on the last few seconds of a person's life. That person is likely to be Lynn, the girl you saved in the beginning. She dies a lot in this game, and on the third time she's just like, I died again. I swear to God, this would normally annoy me, but she's characterized so well, I can't help but love her. She knows I'll come save her no matter what. What a leech. I bet she'd take advantage of the 4 minutes thing in every way she can. Lynn, your food got a bit burnt. Oh well, I guess there's no other option then. Make no mistakes, this game's story is completely out there. But it makes a lot of sense in its own strange kind of world, and it feels really consistent with its rules, so when the game threw me a couple of curveballs, I accepted them and added them to the rules of the world. I don't think I ever stopped to question how this could be possible, because it's just so entertaining to just let it go and go along with it. I mean, you've heard the argument that a game with stylistic graphics won't have the player get too annoyed with glitches, whereas a super realistic game will have the players taken out of the experience with the same kind of glitch. Well, in the same vein, I'd say that this game has a stylistic story. That doesn't mean that the story is filled with problems, but I just choose to ignore them. No, not at all. I think the game does a fine job of telling its mysteries in a really good way. It actually treats the player with a lot of respect too. For example, with how it sums up everything between each chapter. But it does so in this narrator film noir style, which makes it highly entertaining. And it isn't told in insultingly bad flashbacks like some other games are. By the way, Chatot is still a fucking bitch. In fact, playing it again and knowing how it ends allows me to appreciate the writing that much more, as you'll pick up a lot of hints scattered about in the dialogue which alludes to who Sissel is or who he used to be. And it's the kind of stuff I only noticed on my second playthrough too. The story, while wacky and zany, is also very earnest and realistic in its own sense. Now, I obviously don't want to spoil too much of the story, but I am going to give you a quick rundown of the second episode of the game to show the kind of problem solving needed. Ray, a deeply mysterious character who clearly knows more than he's letting on, informs you that, as a ghost, you'll pass on to the afterlife by dawn. And if you'd like to find out who you are, you gotta follow Miss Haha, I died again, as she's the key to everything that night. Okay then, how does he know all this? Whatever. You listen in on a phone call between Lynn and the people who tried to kill her, and you quickly realize that these people might be responsible for killing you as well. You then find out about your power to travel through phone lines. Good thing this story takes place before the cell phone era, huh? So you go through the phone lines and you get there, and there they are. Two blue-skinned people who you learn have targeted the red-headed girl. And you're apparently supposed to do a deal with these guys. They just don't know you're dead yet, apparently. These guys can be really funny too, because with your manipulation, the main dude seems to get startled easily. It's a sad state of affairs when I can get startled by a telephone that doesn't even ring. Egad, startled again! In any case, they sent an assassin to Lynn's apartment, and with your power to travel through phone lines, you're there in a flash. Upon arrival, you find a little girl tied up and... a dead doggy. He was so young. Oh wait, yeah, we can save him. Right, fuck. This little guy's name is Missile, and he's easily one of the best written characters in all of gaming. Holy crap, you can't not love the heck out of this guy. He remembers who he was, which gives you hope for regaining your own memory, and he also travels back in time with you to help out with some insight. For instance, he barks like crazy when he sees a rat, he hates the girl's headphones, and he thinks that she should hide from the bad guy to save her life. Your job then becomes to find a way to do all of this. As we see the events play through, we see that Camilla almost dropped her headphones in an aquarium. You then see her drop a donut, and a rat comes over to eat it. We also see Missile bark at it, but due to the headphones, nothing happens. The first thing I think of is getting those headphones out of the way. And we solve that by extending an umbrella at the same time as she's fumbling them from earlier. There we go. See, now her fate changed very slightly, and as of such, this acts as a checkpoint we can rewind time back to at any moment. What can we do now? Well, we can rock the bowl and smack the rat with a door. Missile barks, but that currently leads us nowhere. Maybe it's time to rewind. What if we try another path? So we go back in time and we manipulate the trolley to make the donut fall elsewhere, and we use that newly opened path to smack the rat again. This time the rat lands underneath the sofa. Missile comes barking as predicted, and Camilla now has to crawl underneath the sofa to calm Missile down. And just as she does, the assassin enters the apartment and concludes that there's nobody there, so he sits and waits for his target. Scarfs down a donut with his rifle too. But the point is that the dog is alive and Camilla is in hiding. They are safe for now. See, that's the kind of problem solving this game offers up, and it's so incredibly cool. I mean, this one was easy since it's just a second episode, but it becomes really complicated later on. I obviously can't spoil anything, but there are several places where seeing the last 4 minutes of a person's life shows a lot of story development and plot-thickening twists. Every single chapter feels like a goddamn gift for you to enjoy. Oh, and fun fact, did you know that the reason you can go back exactly 4 minutes in time is because in Japanese, the word for 4 is the same word as for death. I mean, that makes sense since the whole game revolves around that. There is just one more thing we really need to discuss about this game, and I wager it's been obvious since I first started showing the game in motion. The game's presentation is some of the best I've ever goddamn seen. I mean, you can see it, the characters are exuding, well, character in their movement. The animation is so fluid, the art style is so clean and stylized that even though the graphics are very low poly, it ages beautifully. These character portraits are also really charming, and I'm sure a dashingly handsome YouTuber would have used the same style for his videos, but I can't think of any that fit that description. Gaijin Goomba, of course. Nah, but seriously, dudes and dudettes. Pretty graphics are only half of what makes this game present itself so beautifully. The soundtrack, oh man, the friggin' soundtrack. It's so smooth, so jazzy, so excellently paced, so excellently put together to accentuate all the story going on. And it sounds great. It's very Phoenix Wrighty, which also makes sense because it's the same composer and stuff, but it's definitely got an identity of its own. All in all, I'd say that Ghost Trick Phantom Detective is a game that will latch onto you and haunt you till you beat it. I really think this hidden gem is a must-have for the system, and if you're into story-driven games, it might be hard to come by on the Nintendo DS nowadays, but you could always get it on iOS if you have that stuff. In any case, Ghost Trick is definitely a game I recommend wholeheartedly. Thank you guys so much for watching. So, I guess it's time I got an end card up and running, huh? So this is where I just talk loosely about whatever I want while neat stuff from you guys appear on screen. I guess I should also put my channel there, so those of you who want to subscribe can do that, but I mean, that's of course up to you guys. So this episode was really difficult to script because how do you talk about a game that's 90% story without spoiling the story? I don't know. I think I did it alright though. Oh, and thank you so much to Game Taco and Connor for the silly little cameo. Taco just breached 20,000 subscribers, so hats off to that guy. Connor is almost at 200, so that's cool. Show him some love, guys. They're really supportive. And finally, huge thanks to Demon Monkey Pants who designed this awesome logo for us. You're awesome, dude. Other than that, I don't think there's much to say. I should probably mention that next month might not have a video on its own because we are actually getting married, Foxburrito and I. And due to that, there is a bit of wedding planning that has to be done, so I don't know if I will have time to make a video or not. In any case, did you like the review? Do you feel like I should have talked about something I didn't really mention? Do you know of any other hidden gems on the Nintendo DS? I'm going to do a few more videos on gems like this, and I do have a few ones in mind, like Hotel Dusk or its sequel. Let me know in the comments anyway. Have a great day. Oh, and by the way, you look fantastic today, so you should just ride that wave of joy for the rest of the day, okay? Have fun. Ha det bra.